ShartimusPrime, ShartimusPrime. Reading comics, toys are hella sick, hella whacking it, taking bad hits, taking bad shit. Subscribe.
And we get just a little.
Hey, what's up you guys? ShartimusPrime here, doing another MAFEX action figure review on the Medicom MAFEX, the amazing Spider-Man Ben Reilly Spider-Man figure. Try and get your MAFEX figures, you can do so at
Big. Get your big badass toys at BigBadToyStore.com. Click the link in the description below.
way down there, I ask you to please hit that like button, and if you're new here, hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell. And this was not my favorite time of comic books or Spider-Man comics anyway, but I do like how the suit looks, and I'm very interested in this figure. Looks like John Romita Jr. artwork right over here on the side. I don't remember him drawing this version as Spidey, but anyway, on the side right there, you can see the Ben Reilly Spider-Man. On the back, whole bunch of product shots over here looking pretty sweet. On this side, you can see Spidey again. It says the amazing Spider-Man on the top. You get Spidey face, and then you get Spidey logo, and then not much more at the bottom, so let's get to it and crack this thing open. And here's the Ben Reilly Spider-Man figure out of the packaging, looking pretty sweet. Anyway, we get a fair amount of accessories with this figure, so let's get a closer look at those, and then we'll take a closer look at this Spider-Man. So this Ben Reilly feels like he has the standard number of accessories that I expect for a Spider-Man figure. You do get the 7 sets of interchangeable hands. These are both relaxed hands, but you get the peg right over there for holding the mask. The mask looks really good. I do like the magnetic hands and the magnetic feet. It's fun to play around with on the refrigerator. And then you get the 2 small whipping, the 2 medium-sized whipping, and the 2 zip line. You get the stand right over there with the small clamp, which I do like. I did have to tighten this a little bit, but, you know, not too much or else you may snap it. And just to demonstrate really quick, you get that tiny little hole right over there. You can just plug that right into this little peg on the hand, and it works out pretty well. I had fun with it, and I like the paint apps on the mask. It looks very clean. And the paint apps on all the accessories look really good too. So being honest, I was really turned off by this suit when it first came out back in the day. This, along with Age of Apocalypse, had turned me off from reading comics to the point where I had taken a break. But even though I didn't like the suit then, I am liking it now. It's grown on me over time, and I really like the head sculpt of this figure over here. It is a new head. Comparing it to the regular comic version Peter Parker, you can see they are different. So I really like that a lot. Really like how the hair came out over here, how it's wafting off to the side. You do get color variation in the hair, so that looks really good. Very pleased with that. You have the interchangeable neck over here, and damn it. So it's easier to pop these off after you heat them up. And here we have the squinty-eyed Spider-Man head sculpt, which is actually not my favorite of the two. It is missing some paint. It's a little bit of what we get from the MAFEX QC. It's just a bit thin over here. And yeah, it's a little bit thin over here too, around the chin. So not the best cobweb pattern paint job I have seen. A little irritated about that. Very pointy nose right over there. But there's the back of the head, again, missing some paint, and then just popping off only the head and giving the wide-eyed, what I like to think of as the regular version, most resembling Bagley's artwork. That looks sick. That has a lot more black paint on it, and I do like it. It looks a lot more crisp. So yeah, very much more pleased with this head sculpt. And it looks like they did reuse the classic Spider-Man head sculpts. I mean, these do look the same to me, right? The nose is all pointy the same way and stuff. I mean, why give it a brand new head sculpt? It is a clone. This sculpt looks dope. Having this huge spider logo over the whole cobweb pattern and getting all the musculature and everything on there. It's like you get 3 different layers of sculpting going on. And I actually think it looks pretty sick. So I do like it. You know, there's sometimes I feel like the waist looks a little diaperish, but it's not that bad. It really doesn't stand out to me that much. And then you can see right here we get some nice paint added, and then the blue looks very vibrant. I like the silver over here. I'll get into the articulation more in a little bit, but yeah, the web shooters do bother me a little bit. I wish I could turn this around so that I could pose it with the figure, you know, so that can be frustrating. It's always on the inside of the arm, which is kind of a weird spot. You can see some nice black paint added to the blue portions right over there. Looks pretty sweet, and I like seeing that on the legs as well. Very nice muscle definition. I like this split right over here on the legs. That looks really cool. And a little bit of, you know, color change, but I don't know, I still like it. Looks pretty dope, man. I'm really happy with the sculpt on this figure. And you don't get peg holes or anything at the bottom of the feet, and I think the pins right over here match pretty well, you know. not 100% perfect, but it doesn't stand out too much to me. And then you can see just nothing at the bottom of the feet. And it looks like they did reuse the classic Spider-Man head sculpts. I mean, these do look the same to me, right? The nose is all pointy the same way and stuff. I mean, why give it a brand new head sculpt? It is a clone. So I found the figure to be a lot of fun. I really like the articulation a lot. You get a great amount of head movement over there, so that's awesome. And you can move the head all the way downward. You get side-to-side motion with the neck and the head. Great pivoting. Be careful with the butterfly joints. I recommend heating up the figure before you start really posing it around, just because you really don't want to break anything. So you can move these butterfly joints forward and back. You can move them pretty far back that much, and you can move them pretty far forward. They also shift up and down. You also get the shoulder joint that can move all the way outward that much. You can see it getting a little bit loose on me, so be careful. And you can move them inward that far. You get a full 360. You get the bicep swivels. You get the double jointed elbows. Then you get the swivel at the wrist, and you could hinge side to side or up and down depending on how you have it configured. I gotta say, I did have a hard time with the thwipping poses. I'd find myself getting frustrated adding webbing over here and trying to get a proper thwip pose with the hand tilted upwards. So I think that's actually looking okay right now, but when you add, the web to it, it just makes it harder. So I wish we had some more mobility with it's working out okay right now, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, maybe I just had a hard time earlier and I've loosened things up with the figure. And so anyway, with the diaphragm joint, you can turn that side to side. Great diaphragm pivoting and crunches forward. You can see that nice sculpt all the way back there. Crunches all the way back that much. That looks really good. Great amount of waist movement as well with both joints. You'll crunch forward that much with both joints back that far. Get the drop down hips, and you can move the legs outward that far, and you can move the legs forward, well, all the way around and back. You do get good upper thigh swivel in there, and then you have the double jointed knees, and then the ankles move down. Well, you could pop them off. They move down, up. You can rotate side to side. Beautiful ankle pivot and toe articulation. And then for a MAFEX Spider-Man figure comparison, we have our Peter Parker classic Spider-Man from MAFEX, and we have our Ben Reilly version. And here's the MAFEX Ben Reilly figure next to the MAFEX Carnage figure. And I did try swapping parts over here to get a Spider Carnage. Did not work out for the hands at all. I tried it with the heads too, and the ports don't match, but I just kind of wanted to show you what it looks like anyway, because it does rest on there, but it doesn't really fit securely or anything. But, and the hands, they just come right off. So nothing really ports on properly. I guess it scales okay, though. While I have this Carnage out here, I just want to bring out this Shriek, because when I did the Shriek review, I didn't compare it to the MAFEX Carnage, and I regret not doing that because I'm curious to see how they look side by side. And I feel like they scale okay, I feel like Carnage should still be maybe a little bit taller, but they don't look too bad. And here we have our MAFEX Ben Reilly Spider-Man next to the Marvel Legends version. And I do not have the new Vintage Collection wave yet. I haven't even bought it yet. I'm trying to keep an eye out, see if I can get a decent price, but right now prices are ridiculous. I wanted to see how the Spider Carnage head sculpt would look on this figure, and even though he can't get the claw hands on there, it just sits on there, yeah. But it does look kind of neat though, right? It does look pretty cool, but it just doesn't really peg on to anything. The reds are very close in color. Ah, man, they're probably gonna make one. Ah, so close, but so far. There you go, that kind of works. And then I had to bring out a classic Ben Reilly. We have the Vintage Collection Marvel Legends Ben Reilly Spider-Man next to the MAFEX version. Then here's the Ben Reilly Spider-Man next to your average 6-inch scale figure. We have the Marvel Legends Big Time Letdown Spider-Man. Hey brother, hey brother, hey brother. Ugh! Bye brother. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, show some love to the channel by simply clicking that like button, and if you're new here, hit that subscribe button as well as that notification bell. And a big thank you to all the people that support this content via the Patreon and membership, and in a position to do so, check it out, link in the description below. This figure is a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun posing it, a little bit more so than the comic version, only because I feel like the joints are mostly tighter on this than my original Spider-Man figure from MAFEX, but I still really like them both a lot. I obviously like the classic suit version, or the Peter Parker classic suit, over the Ben Reilly, right? But this is still really badass. Again, this suit has grown on to me, and I think this figure just looks really cool. I just really appreciate all the sculpted detail, especially on the upper torso. And it was just really fun to pose around, and I love my Spider-Man, and I'm all hella hyped on Spider-Man. I guess I don't know why, but maybe, I don't know, maybe you tell me. me. But anyway, at the price point of around $95, I'm gonna give this Ben Reilly Spider-Man figure a Sud rating of I love it! And I'd like to know what you guys think. I really think this is a perfect Ben Reilly Spider-Man figure. I mean, it has all the accessories that I want to come with it. It's just the web shooter issue is probably my biggest gripe, and maybe missing a little bit of paint here and there. So I do have my gripes about it, but oh man, I still love this piece. I'd like to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comment section below. If you want to see the latest in Marvel news, you can find it all over at marvelousnews.com. And if you want to stay in touch with me on social media, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, and TikTok. And I will catch you guys later. Peace! And for MAFEX Spider-Man, oh man.
That's crispy.
Hey, new ShartimusPrime videos. Hey, you should click one. Yeah, click on one of them. Or subscribe if you haven't.
Your face,